Hey folks, welcome back to MusicalConman plays Slay the Spire. We got Ironclad up to Ascension 6. Let's do Silent. You know, another thing I'm thinking about, I was thinking about skipping directly up Ascensions, but another thing I was considering is maybe I want to just try playing one character a bunch of times in a row, just climb the Ascension ladder with them. Something to think about. Could be fun. Random rare card, random common relic, random rare relic, or random boss relic. Let's look at what we got here. First off, we're not seeing a shop until halfway through the act, so losing all our gold. Something to think about there. Random common relic is pretty much always a good thing. But rare relics, are they worth 100 gold more than common relics? A lot of the time. Random boss relic is nice, but when I already really like some of these options, I kind of want to keep our starter relic. Random rare card is probably the worst of these options. Not that it's bad, but the thing is, some rare cards are very good in Act 1, but a lot of them are good, but only in Act 2 or 3. So there are some rare cards that are really good eventually and really bad right now, like Malaise, for example, is an excellent card eventually, but it doesn't really do much for us at the moment. So I think it's probably random common relic or random rare relic, and it's a question of how much do I value my gold. So, if we want to do a campfire before an elite, which we usually do, it's one of these options. This one does go to a shop, so that's a 2 elite path with 1 campfire. This is a 2 elite path with 2 campfires. There are no 3 elite paths. I think let's get rid of our gold to see what we get. Stone Calendar. At the end of turn 7, deal 52 damage to all enemies. That's usually you don't want most fights to last 7 turns. In regular fights, where 52 damage is a bunch, but you don't want it to last that long. And then boss fights, Hexaghost will probably last 7 turns, but it has hundreds of health, so 52 damage isn't necessarily... Well, how much health does it have? It has a pretty good amount. 52 damage is not a huge amount. So, unfortunately, this is kind of a whiff. So, with that in mind, we're not going to want to take the super elite path. So, let's go this way. Easy turn 1. It doesn't attack. So, we just play all our attacks. Neutralize. Another easy turn. It attacks for 4. So, we play all of our attacks, and then we fully block. I mean, if you can block all the damage and spend all your energy on attacks, it's pretty good. I think it is pretty easy to fully block here and deal 8 damage next turn. We just have to draw 2 strikes, and if we don't draw 2 strikes, then we have pretty good odds of being able to fully block. But we drew 2 strikes. Okay. I like a poison stab here. It just does damage, applies poison. It's nice against elites at this stage of the game. Blade Dance, it could be okay. It's 8 damage right away, but this is 9 damage right away. Catalyst is a card for later. If you already have poison, you can take Catalyst, but not without. I like to fully block and deal a little bit of damage here. I like spending all our energy on attacks. Alright, it has 18 health going down to 16, so we're not killing it. So we could fully block and... So we could deal 6 more damage. But we are guaranteed to draw enough damage to kill it next turn. No, that's not true, it's blocking. We'll see what we get next turn. Okay, that's a kill. Vulnerable Potion. Ooh, okay, so these are some interesting choices. So Sucker Punch it's just a better strike, and we are kind of looking for those at this point in the game. Bouncing Flask is a little more ambitious. It's good for 2 of the 3 elites. It's good for dealing damage over time. Dagger Spray is a good way to deal with multi-target enemies quickly. It's faster than Bouncing Flask. How often is Bouncing Flask good here? We are going to have to do a hard hallway fight, because it'll be our 4th fight there, unless we do the elite first. If we did the elite first, we could do a 3 elite path. You know what that is? I totally missed that in my analysis. We could do that. Well, we're going to this question mark. If we could do a 3 elite path, Bouncing Flask would be good against Gremlin Knob and Lagavulin, and Stone Calendar will completely deal with the Centuries if we can just block for 7 turns. Let's try this. Ooh, Golden Idol. I'm into it. So, 25% more gold from enemy fights. And do we want to take 17 damage or lose some max HP? Ascension 5, I think this is fine. On Ascension 20, you almost always have to lose max HP because you're at great risk of dying. This kills this enemy. It deals 6 damage, then it deals 3 this turn and 2 next turn from the poison. I mean, we can do this. We're not breaking that block. We can do this just to make sure it dies before it buffs itself. That doesn't matter at all. Easy last fight. Huh. Burst Bouncing Flask is kind of spicy. Dagger Throw, I think, is the correct choice. But Burst is fun. Ascension 20, you take Dagger Throw here. Ascension 5, I'm going to try out Burst. And I'm going to try out an Elite Path here. I am not going to take a Curse. Just to get money. Okay, we get our Bouncing Flask turn 1. Do we want a Vulnerable Potion here? We always do this, so that's 9 poison. If we do the Vulnerable Potion, that's 3 extra damage on this, and then probably next turn, probably 3 extra damage on 3 strikes, so 9. Another 1 damage on that, so 10. 13 damage. Probably like 15, 16 damage. So let's see, this thing is going to have 12 poison. So over the next few turns, that's... We're not going to kill it next turn. But let's say it takes 12 this turn, 11 next turn, and 10 the turn after that. That's going to be 33 damage, so it's at 55. Sorry. Yikes, 51. If we do Poison Stab... If we do Poison Stab without, that takes it to 45. Then, let's say next turn we do, over the next 2 turns, let's say we do 3 strikes. Well, 4 strikes and a neutralize we'll probably get in the next 2 turns. Plus we'll get 2 extra mystery cards. Now we could draw all the strikes at once and we can't play them, but we could also draw extra damage from a mystery card, so I'm going to say 4 strikes. So let's say 24, 27 damage, 33, plus that 33 from poison puts it at minus 66, so it's at 18 health. I think Vulnerable Potion does stand a good chance of helping us kill it before it does an extra round of attacks. And it does do big attacks, which we will not be blocking. Okay, it is unfortunate to just get some strike here. Defend would block for 5, but cause 2 more damage this turn, and 3 more damage next turn because we're vulnerable. So Defend is good if we kill it next turn, neutral if we don't kill it next turn, and bad if we can't kill it the following turn. What are the odds we kill it next turn? 9, 18, and then the best card we could... Hypothetically, if we drew Poison Stab, 27, 31, and then the poison makes it another 34. So we could kill next turn if we get lucky draws. And if we don't get lucky draws, we always kill the turn after that. So I think it's worth playing Defend there. Cool. Draws didn't have to be that lucky, actually, with all that poison. So, Vulnerable Potion, I think, did save us an extra turn of attacks there. Anchor. Extra block on turn 1. I'm into that. Take another Bouncing Flask, but I think we do need a Dagger Throw. Just deal a little bit of damage. It's a little early for Backflip. We still don't have cards that are good enough to really want to draw. So we'll take a front-loaded damage, and, yeah. Let's keep going to these elites. So, good upgrades here. Neutralize is really good. Not burst. Bouncing Flask is really good against non-sentries. So next fight we're doing either Lagavulin or sentries. This takes off artifact charges against sentries. I mean, this takes off more artifact charges if we upgrade it. And this doesn't. And I think this is also better against Lagavulin. I think our goal is not so much to block a ton, but as to wait it out. Stone Calendar gives us a very strong incentive to stall the first couple turns. Nothing about that hand made me want to play all the cards. I was really hoping we would get to burst Bouncing Flask. I mean, we could wait one more turn and get Stone Calendar closer. So if we did that, next turn Stone Calendar would be a 3. It's still not attacking. Then 4 it attacks, 5 it attacks, 6 it sleeps. 7 it would attack, but Stone Calendar hits it. On the other hand, if we just play Bouncing Flask, that's 12 damage this turn, plus 11 damage next turn. I mean, we're trying to get 52 damage slightly sooner in the fight by getting rid of all this damage. I think that's just not reasonable. So we're going to try and win without Stone Calendar. Alright. So we could burst defend, and that blocks for 15. That's better than it would usually be because we have a bunch of poison doing damage, and if we fail to do damage, Stone Calendar will help. So I'm going to say it's defense time. Okay. We always want to survive and defend here, I think. Blocking 13 is good, and we'll play a strike. That poison is doing a great amount of damage to it. This is at 5, so we just have to block next turn, and then it's dead. Unfortunate that Bouncing Flask was on the bottom of our deck. Alright, we don't need to do any damage here, we just need to live. So we'll take 5 more. And it's dead. But it's funny, we don't... You know what? We'll leave 1 damage for Stone Calendar. Nah, it can do that. Bam. Okay, Meat on the Bone is incredible. If your HP is below 50% at the end of combat, heal 12. This is a really good combination with Fruit Juice, which is just more maximum HP. Alright, give me a card. Okay, a random skill to your hand that costs 0 is usually not great. Card from your hand on top of your draw pile, usually not great unless you got expensive cards that you really want to play at a specific time. Tools of the Trade. One advantage of Tools of the Trade is it helps us get better hands for burst. It helps us get burst Bouncing Flask more often. It's a very slow card, because you spend 1 energy and 1 card now in order to get 1 more draw next turn, but you discard cards, so you've spent 1 energy and 1 draw to get 1 draw and 1 discard slowly, and then the next turn you draw 2 and you've total drawn 2 and discarded 2 in exchange for 1 energy and 1 draw, and turn 3 it finally starts to help. But Tools of the Trade is nice if you have specific cards you want to play. Matryoshka, extra relics in our next chest? Yeah, I think this is nice. So that's a question of what we upgrade. What does Tools of the Trade upgrade to? Just 0 cost, okay. So, Neutralize I think is the upgrade here. Burst just lets us play more skills, which is nice if we do it with 2 defensive cards, but it doesn't do anything if we do it with Bouncing Flask, which is kind of the main reason we took it. Neutralize upgrade is really good. That's a shop there, but we gave up all our starting money, and we've only gotten 100 cents. If we Dagger Throw, we could draw a Bouncing Flask. I think we're always going to Dagger Throw this turn. Alright, we'll take a Tools of the Trade, we'll Neutralize, and we'll Strike. This fight's going to be a little tricky. Maybe. Okay. We just have to live and kill it, and then Meat on the Bone will get us back up healthy. 12 damage, 11 and 10. That's a lot of damage, we gotta do it. Even if it makes the enemy scarier. So now we just have to not die this next turn. Oh, it doesn't attack for that much at this level. Neutralize is great. There is a case to be made for just fully blocking. Okay, so it takes 11 this turn and 10 next turn, so 21. If we do this, it brings it down to 10, and then we almost certainly kill it next turn. From 21 health, we probably don't kill it next turn. So that's worth doing. This is worth doing. We're not vulnerable, so this blocks 4, and it's not making us vulnerable, so as long as we kill it within the next few turns, this always saves us more damage than it gives us. Alright, and that's a win. Fruit juice doesn't matter here, we're below half health. Okay, we're at exactly half health, so the next fight we're automatically going to heal as long as we don't fruit juice during it. So pin nib is nice, attack potion is nice. We could take a catalyst. Infinite Blaze is a little damage every turn. It works well with pin nib. I mean, bouncing flask, burst, and catalyst is a heck of a combo to assemble in Act 1. And we could totally knock out a Hexaghost real fast like that. I'm feeling the flavor. Piercing Wail is good against Hexaghost. Footwork is good generally. Card remove is good generally. I think a Piercing Wail would really help us. With Bouncing Flask, Burst, Catalyst, we took those instead of just like attacks, so our damage is pretty slow against normal fights. So I think a Piercing Wail and a Footwork really help us defensively. We could consider a Bane, but we only actually have one card that applies poison, so until we draw that, Bane is just a strike plus. And after we get this in play, do we need Bane to deal damage? Like, we need front-loaded damage cards because sometimes we'll need to kill enemies quickly, and we won't have time to be applying a bunch of poison. But this is only front-loaded damage if we've already applied a bunch of poison. And we only have one card that does that. So I think it actually doesn't speed up our deck at all. Loving Anchor. Let's Dagger Throw. Yeah? Or do we just Tools of the Trade, Strike, Poison, Stab, Neutralize, and that way we don't draw anything we don't want to draw? There are things we would rather play than Strike. I'm going to work on this Spike Slime since it has less health. Okay, so we could Burst Defend. Let's just neutralize that. Yeah. So we did draw Burst, which is unfortunate. We would have liked to play that with one of our cool things. But we're fully blocked. We have a power in play. We've gotten this halfway down. We don't need Catalyst this turn. Well, this blocks, and this kills the little one before it can debuff us again. This Slaver is going to make us vulnerable, which is unfortunate. So we're probably going to take some damage next turn. Footwork, Defend, Piercing Wail actually does pretty well. So that would block 7. So that would fully block. I like Bouncing Flask, but I think fully blocking here is useful. I think we have... And we're about to shuffle our draw pile, so we could draw Bouncing Flask again. Footwork is going to help us in the long term. That actually reduced its strength by more than 6, because we were vulnerable. It was actually attacking for 9. And it was just the vulnerable that made it look like 13. I like Burst Survivor here. Burst Bouncing Flask deals 24 poison. That's not enough. Yeah. So I could take 2. We're not going to be vulnerable next turn. discard again. I probably should have taken 1 damage to get a hit in, but I'm greedy. Alright, let's see what we draw. Alright, so we are gonna take 1... Nope, sorry, I forgot we played Footwork. We take 0 damage here. We do have our Pin Nib slowly stacking up. Bouncing Flask Catalyst kills. So that's 12 poison. And 24 poison. And we'll do this to get our Pin Nib up to 9. Alright, so we did win without taking any more damage. Meat on the Bone got us up to a tasty 47. Eviscerate is front-loaded damage that is better with Tools of the Trade, Dagger Throw, and Survivor. So, for 3 energy, 18 damage is not great. For 2 energy, 18 damage is decent. Plus, it would be a big attack that works with Pin Nib. I think that's worth thinking about. This often, after we play Tools of the Trade, this always costs 2 or less. And sometimes it costs 1 or even 0. That said, the first turn of the fight, it probably costs 3. But also that said, Pin Nib, I think we want a big attack. Dagger Spray would also be good to deal with multiple enemies. Like, Dagger Spray would be good here. Okay, so we are currently blocked for 10. These are attacking for 14. Poison Stab will kill this one. So we could just defend and play a strike. Or we could Footwork defend. Let's just get started doing some damage. Unfortunately, we're not going to have Pin Nib stacked up going into the boss fight, but it did help us here. Cool, it just buffs. This is a good chance to do some damage. And Pin Nib, I guess, ends at 5. We're never going to find a way to play more attacks than that. We get a Liquid Memories. If I had taken 12 damage, I could have healed 12 health. It's not untrue. Caltrops is a good way to deal damage against Hexaghost, but Bouncing Flask and Catalyst, especially with Burst, are a better way to deal damage against Hexaghost. I don't think we need Outmaneuver. I don't think we need Backstab. So let's upgrade. So Footwork is pretty much always a good upgrade. Piercing Wail, 6 strength is enough against Hexaghost. It's going to be a while till there are enemies doing multi-attacks for more than 8 per. So it's a question of Burst or Catalyst. But Burst isn't really good on 3 energy because we want to Burst Bouncing Flask and we want to Burst Catalyst, but we can't do those in the same turn. It's good for defense. But I think Catalyst Plus helps us kill this the fastest. We don't want to use Fruit Juice until after... We haven't used Fruit Juice yet, because next turn it's going to attack us based on our maximum health. Also, it's unfortunate that we do Piercing Wail here. This is not a great turn 1. But it will... Well, it is good, because we have Neutralize Plus, making it weak next turn. Anyway, it's going to attack us for 18 damage. It would have attacked us for 24 damage. What would we draw here? None of these are really exciting to draw, so I'm not interested in Dagger Throw. So we'll Tools of the Trade, defend, and we'll take 8. We got a power in play. Footwork, defend, fully blocks, and then we can Poison Stab. We could also defend, eviscerate. We could also Poison Stab, eviscerate, and take 6. So that would be 36 damage, which is nice. But I want to get that Footwork in play. We can Pin Nib, eviscerate later, maybe. Alright, we got a Bouncing Flask, and Tools of the Trade will be nice against this boss, because we can just discard the burns. Finally get some poison on it. Next turn we could draw Burst Catalyst, and that would be very good. Just Catalyst. Mega Eviscerate is good. So that's 36 damage. If we Catalyst, that goes to 39 poison per turn. I mean, we could wait and try and get Burst Catalyst, but who knows when we'll get that. Taking 4 here after we weaken it is no big deal, so let's deal 36 to get it to 39 poison, and just try to end the fight. Okay. Next turn we have 2 defends, which is something. So let's just deal some damage. So we just need to block next turn and the turn after that, and then it's dead. Cool. You see 37 poison is pretty decent a lot of the time. Burst is just another defend, but it's a fun way to defend. Okay, we're being attacked for 12. We don't actually need to play Eviscerate here. Okay, so it's taking 37 plus 36, so 73. So then we just need to deal 9 damage next turn, and I think next turn it's just blocking, because it'll be at 5. Oh, Stone Calendar. Hey, what's up? I think we're good here. Let's stack our pin nib. Bunch of money. Thank you to Golden Idol for 25 more. Fairy in a bottle. Let's drink this. Take that. Store a seal, no. I don't want to discard my hand and play a bunch of weak attacks. I don't really want another burst. An Alchemize could be quite good though. So we're gonna start using a bunch of potions. Alright. Extra energy, but we can't smith. Transform all our strikes into defends, or remove 2 cards. So extra energy is very good. The most important cards to upgrade would be Bouncing Flask, Catalyst, and Burst. We've upgraded 2. Neutralize is also good. So I'm okay if we never upgrade Burst. Like, Burst plus Bouncing Flask plus Catalyst is a turn where, hypothetically, you can apply 24 poison times 9 to the heart on turn 1, which is pretty good. What is that? 180. 216 poison on turn 1 is good in a lot of fights. But you have to get very specific draws. We could also take Empty Cage, start removing cards, and try to get very specific draws. So Fusion Hammer is the default pick here. Pandora's Box is... With the footwork, we actually quite like our defense. We don't have any other block cards except Survivor, so getting rid of all our defense is pretty risky. I love getting rid of all our strikes. We don't care about those, but getting rid of all our defense, can't stand it. So we could Empty Cage to get rid of 2 strikes, I guess. That does help our deck a lot, but I don't think it helps it as much as extra energy. And remember, we can't Burst plus, Bouncing Flask plus, and Catalyst if we only have 3 energy. So, extra energy. No more upgrades at campfires. So campfires aren't that valuable for us anymore. We can heal with meat on the bone, and we can't smith there. So we're just looking for other ways to get stronger. I like question marks. I think we could do a super elite. This could be a 3 elite act, and we have off-ramps if we don't like it, so I'm going to take the path 3 question marks. Alright, we're being attacked for 22, so if we play 2 blocks, we're pretty much defended. We could eviscerate Liquid Memories, eviscerate, and that deals 36. So we could deal 45. We haven't alchemized to get another potion. Yeah, 36 plus 6 is 42. And then we take 1. Yeah, I like that. If we just played 2 defense, we were going to take 2. Okay, this is a lot. Oh, this is unfortunate. Give me a good attack as well. 24 damage plus extra damage. Can we just kill it this turn? I like that better than taking 11. Okay, so we don't get to alchemize for the extra potion, but we get to keep a bunch of health. We get a strength potion anyway. And I like Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger plays well with footwork. It plays well with burst. It plays well with pin nib because the shiv. Yeah. Card remove. I'm into it. Thank you, Cleric. Never knew it was you. We get rid of a strike. Event. Ooh, another chest. Thanks, Matryoshka. So we get the boot or the key. Whenever you deal 4 or less unblocked attack damage, increase it to 5. So if we take this relic, our shivs, instead of 4 damage, do 5 damage. Or if we're weak, instead of 3 damage, they do 5 damage. And our neutralize does 5 damage. Let's upgrade some attacks. Strike plus and poison stab plus. The poison stab is good. Eviscerate would have been better, but at least it wasn't 2 strikes. Yeah, we had 4 strikes and then 1, 2, 3 non-strikes. So 1 of each is fine by me. Let's get the sapphire key. We gotta get it eventually. And the boot is very rarely important. 5 apparition is incredible. It's really good with burst. Once you get to Ascension 15, I think it is, they make all the events worse, and you only get 3 apparition instead of 5, and it's still considered one of the best events in the game. So think about that. And then, like, oh, 5? 5 is probably pretty good then. Losing 38 max HP is a bit of a bummer. It makes our meat on the bone less valuable because, on the one hand, it heals us for a lot of our health. On the other hand, how often do we want to get to half health when we only have 38? And the answer is, who cares? 5 apparitions. I feel bad for having so many runs where I just get apparition and I'm invincible forever, but like, have you tried it? It's great. Let's dagger throw, see what we get. And, okay, we bouncing flask, so it has 3 artifact charges. 1 of them goes away. Well, all of them go away, and then 1 gets through. Then we get, it goes to 9 poison, and we win. I'd like to play Alchemize, but I'm not too worried about it. Okay, we can't block here. We could kill it this turn, but I'm willing to take 1 damage for a chance at getting a potion. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Alchemize? Burst Alchemize. So we could even get rid of our strength potion and get another kind? Do we need fairy in the bottle? I think we're pretty safe with all these apparitions. Let's get 2 new potions. Ghost in the Jar is very good. Colorless Potion is pretty mediocre most of the time, but sometimes it's very good. Money. We could get a deflect. Heal Hook would be nice if we had more weak in our deck. Deflect. We need card draw before we start taking 0 cost cards. So deflect. Backstab is pretty bad. So Heal Hook is nice if we have weak, but we don't have any extra weak at the moment, and we don't need the extra attack. The campfire is pretty much irrelevant, so we might as well take it after the elite just in case we want to heal. Because it's not going to give us an upgrade. Apparition, good. Poison stab. You know what? Actually, I should have done it before this, but I think strength potion is good in this fight. We'll save it. Maybe we'll use a colorless potion this fight. We could give it 8 extra poison. Is that good? Let's save Catalyst. 8 poison right now is nice, but it can be it can be bigger later, and with these apparitions, we have the energy to play stuff. Okay, so we could get 3 attacks that we don't care about out of our draw pile. We could also just secret technique our bouncing flask. It would be nice if we could do the burst as well, but I'm fine just doing it like this. We can burst an apparition. Let's get a new potion. I'm totally fine taking 3 damage here, considering if we ever get below 19, we get 12 back. Burst Apparition is just a very good play. It just makes us very intangible, very hard to touch. Get that pin nib stacked. Alright, we got 2 more apparitions here. 7 times 5. How about 1 times 5? We could get a good eviscerate here. Or we could just... So we could deal 36 damage once, or 36 damage every turn. Tough decision. I think we don't play any more attacks this fight. So every time this thing damages you, it does add wounds, which kind of sucks, but like, we're fine. Alright, and that's the fight. Thank you, Stone Calendar. I was very scared. Frozen Egg is incredible because we have Fusion Hammer, so it's going to upgrade powers for us. Also, it's good on its own. Finisher is okay. I really like Acrobatics here. We have more energy than card draw. Acrobatics is good with Apparitions. It's good with Burst. We're starting to get to the point where our deck has a lot of very specific things, and so card draw becomes much better. When all your cards do one of 2 things, most turns you're going to be able to spend most of the energy that you want to spend on either damage or block. So you've got 2 jobs, and you can almost always spend all your energy doing them. So you don't really need to spend energy drawing more of them, when you could just spend your energy doing them. When you have 15 different jobs your deck can do, you're probably not going to draw all of them. So Acrobatics helps you get the specific one you need. Like, Act 1, if you want to block, you should just play 3 defense. Acrobatics defend is much worse than defend. But if you have a Piercing Whale, drawing Acrobatics Piercing Whale can block for much more than 2 defense, just with that 1 card. Or Acrobatics into Apparition or Catalyst can be way better. Acrobatics into Eviscerate. Also, Acrobatics does discard a card, so it makes Eviscerate a little better. We could heal here. Let's go to a question mark first. Then we go to the shop before we go to the Super Elite. Then Elite here. Yeah, I like going to a shop instead of an extra hallway fight. Another chest. Vajra, and so 1 strength, and then Akabeko. So if we draw... Okay, so if we draw Eviscerate turn 1, instead of 6 damage 3 times, it does 7 3 times, but instead of 7, it does 15 3 times. And if we have Pin Nib stacked, it does 30 damage 3 times, so 90 damage turn 1 is good. I think we're safe to just recall here. Get it out of the way. And then just avoid things. Tiny Chest is actively bad a lot of the time. Like, treasure, don't get me wrong, treasures are great. It's relics, but once we get into Act 3, a lot of the there's a lot of question marks we want that are way better than just a regular relic. I'm gonna skip it. Okay. So Footwork Plus is really good. Bag of Preparation is really good. Dodge and Roll is really good with 2 Footwork in the deck. It's nice with Apparitions as well, because it just keeps you from taking 1 damage a couple times. Sadistic Nature is usually not very good. Like, Every time you apply poison, it takes 4 damage, but So do we buy Bag of Preparation or do we dodge and roll footwork cod remove? Because we can't Bag of Preparation on footwork, and it's very close. We can't. If we Bag of Preparation, we have really good odds of getting we have better odds of getting Eviscerate turn 1, we have better odds of getting Burst Bouncing Flask, we have better odds of getting Apparitions, and we're unlikely to get too many Apparitions. I mean, removing a strike is really good here. But I think I want to get the Bag of Preparation, because there's some stuff that's really good to set up turn 1. I think a footwork is good. It's really good with, a dodge and roll. Gain 4 block, next turn gain 4 block. So it benefits from our unupgraded footwork twice. It benefits from burst. It helps smooth out our block curve. So if we can block this turn and it blocks next turn for us. We can deal 30 damage 3 times, so 90 damage to the big enemy. Seems good. We could also apply 36 poison to it. If we use a strength potion, this is actually 34 3 times, so 104. So do we want to deal 36 poison, which is 105 damage over 3 turns, and kills it in 4 turns, basically? Or do we want to try and kill it next turn? We could also Duplication Potion, and I think that just does it. Duplication Potion, okay, we're taking 6 damage, that gets us down to 22, that does not activate Meat on the Bone. So Duplication Potion, it would be... the second time we played it, it wouldn't have Akabeka, and it wouldn't have Pin Nib, so it would just be 7 times 3, so it's an extra 21. Okay, so right now this is 90 damage plus 21, so it would be 111. If we use the Strength Potion, it would be 34, so 102 damage, right? 102 damage. Yeah, I think we could just kill it this turn. 102 damage plus 9 plus 27. Okay, we don't kill it, but we get pretty darn close. Very darn close. And then we can fully block. So we just need to draw any attacks next turn. Any attacks at all. Well, we do have to get through the block, but still. Also, if they do big attacks, we Apparition. So we can totally kill it this turn. It's not blocking next turn, though. We would actually take, 0 damage. So let's get it low. It's not blocking next turn, so we almost certainly kill it. And we're intangible for a while anyway, and we get to play Pin Nib a little bigger. It is blocking next turn, but we will be intangible for a while, and we do want to play Alchemize. We use 2 of our potions. Let's try and get 1 back. Because those were nice potions. Essence of Steel ain't bad. Footwork, Apparition, Survivor. Alright, so now we're just stacking Pin Nib. Pin Nib turn 1 is really good in a lot of regular fights. What do we get here? Yeah, we stay intangible for a while. I messed that Maybe I messed that up, I don't know. Nah, it was good to play the apparitions. Okay. So we want to kill it with one more attack. It's not blocking next turn, so any attack will do. 21 times 3, and we're not intangible. Yikes. What will we do? We'll activate Pin Nib. So we got Pin Nib, we got our potion. We could have tried to take 9 damage to heal 12. Ooh, we get blood vials. So that's not going to be too big an issue anyway. We have all 3 keys in Act 2, which is pretty rare. I do like... So I don't really need the Sucker Punch for an attack. Applying more weak is good, but that's also a little less often to draw apparitions. We don't have enough card draw to want to discard 3 cards for energy, because then we get energy to play what? The cards we don't have anymore? Same issue with Prepared. Concentrate can be good turn 1, because we're drawing 9 turn 1, so then we'd have 6 cards and 6 energy. If we draw Concentrate turn 1, which we don't know that we will. I kind of like having Discard, actually, because our apparitions are not upgraded. And with Fusion Hammer, we're not going to upgrade them at campfires. So here's a thought. Discard helps us get rid of apparitions on turns where we're not trying to play them. But I think Prepared is better for that. Okay. So, no Eviscerate this turn. We could do it next turn, though. Give me a potion. Explosive Potion is good. I like Tools of the Trade. Apparition. I really should have discarded one of those, maybe. But this way we're intangible next turn if we just play them both. We do get our Eviscerate. So I think that's good. This thing is going to heal itself, so it should be pretty easy to just slowly play 9 more attacks. Take a little while. So we don't want a Bouncing Flask Catalyst, because that would just kill it. Heal thyself, Physician. Physician, heal thyself, whatever. Discard an Apparition. Chill. Now heal thyself. Whenever it's below a certain amount of HP, it will always heal itself. That will kill it, and we don't want that. Unfortunate. Alright, keep healing yourself. 16. Oh, thanks, Dodge and Roll. So we can deal another 17. Next turn it will probably have to heal again. We don't want to apply poison. Actually, this is the last attack we need to play. And Stone Calendar is about to end the fight anyway. I see you. I see you lurking. Cultist Potion, very good. I'll give up my Explosive Potion for that. Corpse Explosion. That's really good against certain fights. It's pretty good against the Bronze Automaton we're about to fight. Cloak and Dagger and Piercing Whale are both good, but this is nice. He's nice. Alright, we got Eviscerate. If you just draw Eviscerate on turn 1 with Pin Nib every fight, this game is actually pretty easy. If you also have Akabeko and Vajra. So this one is pretty much always the one you want to kill first. It makes you vulnerable, and that's no good. We're being attacked for 20. So if we just Survivor, we're actually fine. And that'll discount Eviscerate. So we could Footwork and Survivor, and that fully blocks. Get rid of an Apparition we're not playing this turn. Deal way more damage than we need to that. Get this weak for a little while, and good turn 1. What are we drawing? Alright, just moving through our deck a little bit there. Intangible means we block pretty easy. We do the damage with Poison Stab and defend. Ooh, we got Corpse Explosion. If we burst Corpse Explosion, that's 12 poison. And then Strike is 5 damage, so it's at 15, 5, and then when it dies, this takes 96 damage. And then we have a hallway fight where we can get Pin Nib stacked up for the Bronze Automaton. So I'm into it. Alright, good fight. Easy fight. Love it. Toy Ornithopter is going to be nice healing with an Alchemize and a Blood Vial and a Toy Ornithopter and a Meat on the Bone. We should always be at about 37 health. I really like a Calculated Gamble. Plus. It's great with Eviscerate. Eviscerate costs 0 if we draw it through that. That's not the main reason to take it. The main reason is it helps us find apparitions really fast. It helps us get our... We have a lot of important cards that do a lot of different things, and if we draw a handful of strikes and defends, we're very sad. That's why it's great. Okay, so we want to play 5 attacks this fight. Bouncing Flask and Catalyst Plus does do it. Piercing Wail does a lot of damage. Let's do that. I mean, we could Bouncing Flask burst Catalyst and it dies instantly, but that does not play a bunch of attacks, does it? So I don't think we're going to Catalyst this turn. We'll get it on low health here. And do this. You know what? I should have used Burst on the Cloak and Dagger. That would have been a good way to block a pretty good amount. We're gonna rest at the campfire anyway. If we get too low on health. Whatever. I don't think we're gonna need the Piercing Wheel later. So we play 3 more attacks. We don't have poison to kill it, but now we do. So can we kill it with 1 more attack? If we wait for Eviscerate, yeah. It might take a while. Also, we still have Corpse Explosion. Do we want a random potion better than we want Essence of Steel? Essence of Steel I think is good enough to keep, so it's dead. Random potion or Essence of Steel? Essence of Steel, nice. Energy potion, also nah. Dodge and roll, good. Drawing cards, pretty good. Do we need another dodge and roll? We only have 1 footwork. If we had multiple footwork, I'd take multiple dodge and roll. I'm still gonna go for it. Nah. Yeah. Nah. Huh? Huh? Eh. Our deck is good. Let's not fill it up with too much stuff that isn't already in there. We would love to remove strikes and defends, though. We could just get rid of this whole thing. I do want to play Tools of the Trade. Dodge and roll could be useful, but we can do better. So that's better. So we'll go ahead and do 90 damage here. I guess we'll just play 2 apparitions since we're not getting them back, and then we'll just Poison Stab. Then we have to decide whether we want to play Cultist Potion for this fight. I think we save it. I think we kill this enemy pretty easily. We have enough damage to kill it, right? We could Plated Armor and Alchemize this turn. Then we could Footwork Bouncing Flask, and we're fully blocked. I like that. I guess we do want to think about our potions as a way to heal. Give me some poison. We could also save Alchemize to heal later, and just do some damage now. I'm kind of into that. I don't think there's a potion we super want. It has taken Burst from us. It has not taken Corpse Explosion, because it takes from our draw pile, not our discard. I don't really want these apparitions. I could become intangible next turn if I play both of them, but I could also become intangible later in the fight if I don't play them. Let's get another artifact charge off of you. Because we want to make sure that we have intangible when it does its Hyper Beam attack later on. 17 plus 7 is 24, so we don't kill that. Shiv for 5 does kill it, and it gets us back our Catalyst, which we don't really want right now. Let's get rid of a Strike. Let's draw something else. I like a Neutralize here. Sorry, Strike. So we are getting hit here. 24, 32, 40. So it's okay. We're already blocked for 41. We could play the top 3 cards of our draw pile. We have decent odds of getting an Apparition. Other things we could get that would be good are Acrobatics, Bouncing Flask, Piercing Wail, Corpse Explosion, Eviscerate. Calculated Gamble is medium. Strike is whatever. Defends are good. I think this is a good potion here. The thing is, if we play it, we don't get 5 health back from it, but I think it probably saves us more than 5 health. So let's Cloak and Dagger, because we want to play that in case it gets calculated gambled away. We probably want to defend. If we want to have 1 energy left over to play an Apparition if we get an Acrobatics into it, or Calculated Gamble into it, or a Dagger Throw into it. Okay, we got Dodge and Roll, Corpse Explosion, and Survivor onto Shiv. So that's why we didn't play the Shiv. So when this thing dies, it will deal damage to 57 damage, so these are both dead. So we can weak to reduce the damage we turn, or to take this turn by 2. So this blocks for 2, or we could get rid of an artifact charge. So we're being attacked for 24, 32, 40, and we're blocked for 35. I'm okay taking a couple damage to get rid of this artifact charge. Even if it loses us one of our plated armors. Okay, I like this hand. No need to ever attack this one, because this one kills it when it dies. So let's Bouncing Flask, and hope we hit the middle one. Alright, 2 out of 4, not bad. We're already fully blocked. Let's get started on killing that one. I don't want a Calculated Gamble because I want to draw Apparitions next turn. Do I want a Dagger Throw and risk that? If I don't Dagger Throw, I risk not having that. Okay, so good luck. I want to be able to kill that. If I had Calculated Gamble, I would have gotten an Eviscerate. Is this Hyper Beam turn? It's Hyper Beam turn. Okay. Acrobatics is free if we're planning on playing Eviscerate, which we are. So let's go ahead and see what we get here. So that at the end of the turn, this will die, and it will give us extra. It will give us Burst and Catalyst next turn. So then we can Burst Catalyst that, which is pretty good. Apply a bunch of poison. It's not attacking this turn, so actually I really should have discarded that intangible. Okay, Bouncing Flask, Burst, Catalyst wins the fight. So it goes up to 20 poison, and then it goes up to 60 poison, and then it goes up to 180 poison, and Pin Nib goes up to that. Oh, we got an achievement. Catalyst for applying 99 or more poison on a single enemy. Cool. Cool. And Stone Calendar is here to help. Okay. Could take another Tools of the Trade. We draw and discard a lot of cards every turn. We could take a Glass Knife, or we could take 1,000 Cuts. Glass Knife gives us front-loaded damage, and it's good on turn 1 with our Pin Nib. Not as good as Eviscerate, but good. 1,000 Cuts is a good way to deal with area of effect fights, but we're not really playing a lot of cards, are we? We have Corpse Explosion to help with that, but maybe we just take another Tools of the Trade. It sacrifices a draw early in the fight, which is bad, but early in the fight we have 5 Apparitions, so then later in the fight we'll have a ton of card choices, and we'll hopefully be able to do it. Yeah. Okay, energy, but we can't rest. So if we can no longer rest, or smith, or recall at rest sites, they're literally useless. So 5 energy is quite good. Black Star is pretty rare to take, but if you're going to take it, you want to take it after Act 1. Because we've killed several elites that we could have gotten things from. Sacred Bark is really good with Alchemize. It's really good with Cultist Potion and Ghost in a Jar. Resting at rest sites doesn't really matter because we have Meat on the Bone, Blood Vial, Toy Ornithopter, Alchemize. So like, and we don't have that much max health anyway, so our health is always full. So this is just extra energy every turn for free. Is that better than double potions with all of our potion bonuses? That's a real question. It's really good on turn 1 when we have a huge hand. And I think that is good enough to say, yes, we do it. With Bag of Prep and Ring of the Snake, 9 cards on turn 1, being able to play a lot of stuff with 5 energy, I think is very valuable, especially if we have card draw so that we can get even more options. Sacred Bark is really good here. But I think we can, I think Coffee Dripper is consistently good. So Sacred Bark lets us hold a couple of really strong potions and feel like we're almost certainly fine in the boss fights later on, like against the Heart and so on. If we have a Ghost in the Jar Plus and a Cultist Potion, the Heart fight for 2 strength every turn and 2 intangible, the Heart fight, the Act 4 elites, we can save those, and we feel pretty good about that. But we also, 5 energy helps us be consistent in every fight. So campfires are pretty much useless for us. So we can do Shop, Elite, Shop, Elite. So we're only doing 2 elites this act. We've already seen Wing Boots in the shop. So now it's question marks. So 2 question marks, 3. 3 isn't very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 question marks, 2 elites, and a shop. I'm into that. Yeah. Oh, we don't have our Pin Nib stacked, so this is only 45 damage. How tragic. I think we're just going to try and kill it with poison and leave our Pin Nib at 9. So we're not going to play Neutralize, we'll just Apparate. Okay, well Acrobatics is good. Corpse Explosion, Burst Catalyst. So then that goes to 18 and then 54. So Burst into Catalyst Plus is pretty good. Sneaky Strike is basically free energy when we have 2 copies of Tools of the Trade. Is free energy good? Or would we rather just draw cards? Like, it's an attack that pays for itself. Do we care? I don't think we care. I don't think 14 damage matters in most fights anymore. Does a dodging roll matter? We said no a while ago, and I think I'll stick with that. Upgrade a card is really good. We don't have a lot of opportunities to do that. So what's good for us here? Footwork Plus is nice. I think Burst Plus is the most important because we can use it on apparitions, or we can do Poison into Catalyst. I think Burst Plus is our most important upgrade. I don't think we're playing any attacks this fight, are we? We'll just try and get this thing super poisoned. We're intangible, so we're not going to die to these things in the near future. It's unlikely with our extra card draw. Okay, Burst Catalyst does it. So 5 times 9 is 45. And we're intangible forever. And forever and ever. No attacks. This gives us energy. And unlike Sneaky Strike, it doesn't cost energy to play. So this is just 2 energy. If we discard it, which we always can, and we have to discard a card every turn with Tools of the Trade, so if we have to discard something, we might as well get energy out of it. So let's take it, and then we're looking for more card draw. So if we go this way, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 question marks. If we go this way, it's 1, 2, 3, but no elites. I like elites and question marks. Transient should be pretty easy with all these catalysts. So we'll gain a bunch of intangible. I mean, this is the rare kind of deck that actually has a chance of killing it with Burst Plus, Bouncing Flash Plus, Catalyst shenanigans. I don't know why I did that, but we're fine. So playing Catalyst there would have been the safest move. Do we want a different potion we have? Man, these are pretty good. But card draw is better than block. Blessing of the Forge is pretty nice, actually. We can upgrade apparitions that we don't want to play. Okay, we're intangible for 2 more turns. And now we're intangible for the rest of the fight. Don't discard it. I almost discarded it. Okay, we win. Burst, Bouncing Flash Plus, and Catalyst Plus. This is the dream. So, check this out. We apply 12 poison twice. Then we multiply it by 3. Then we multiply that by 3. So if we had done that on turn 1, we would have actually killed Transient. It's going to be pretty hard to now. And by pretty hard, I mean impossible. But it was a beautiful dream. And this deck totally could have dealt 999 damage in 5 turns if we were different. Also, on higher Ascension levels, this thing survives 1 turn longer. Skewer is really good with Akabeko and Pinnib, but we don't really need that. Flechettes is really good with Akabeko and Pinnib. If we have like 10 cards in our hand turn 1. And let's say this probably hits like 7 times, is 4 times 7, like 4 plus 8 times 7, 4 plus 9 times 7, better than 7 plus 9 times 5. Nah. The real question is, are either of them better than what we already have in our deck? I don't know about that. If we take one of these, we have really good odds of ending hallway fights on turn 1. I think our deck is pretty much done, though. Skewer is a nice way to spend energy. Sometimes we're not spending all our energy, so I kind of like having a skewer just to say we can always do something. Extra shot, extra question marks, extra question marks. Buy potions or don't. I like our potions, but let's see what you got. Nah, I like our potions. So get out before she litters the floor with our guts. We take her word for it, and exit with our guts still safely in our body. Proceed. Campfires are a complete waste of a floor. Okay. Let's make this apparition come back later. So our eviscerate deals 90 damage. That's not really enough. If we keep gaining strength, it is enough, but I don't think we need to do that this fight if we just stay intangible for a while. I want to take out one of the little ones. We don't have to if we can get Corpse Explosion and Intangible. But if we can get that, then we're already super fine. So let's play as if things will go badly, and then if they go well, it's not a problem. Okay, Burst plus Apparition, I'm a fan. What do we need least? Probably Poison Stab? And so if we do this, we do Burst plus on Apparition and Dodge and Roll. We get a Footwork. It would be nice to draw some more cards. I don't think we need Cloak and Dagger here. Draw a card, see if we like it. Do we take 2 damage just to Burst plus on a couple of Apparitions? Yeah. I want card draw, though. Still, we take 4 damage this turn, and then this gets us 4 turns of Intangible. We heal for free at the start of each fight anyway, so 2 extra damage, not a big deal. I don't really want these right now. But, I mean, if I play them, we're intangible for a long time. But we could also burst them if we have 3 turns where we're fine. Artifact Potion, good. So, next turn, we can get Bouncing Flask and Corpse Explosion. It would be really nice if we got... No, we can't play them with Catalyst anyway, this fight. Unfortunate draw order. We do Burst before any of our poison, and then Catalyst also before any of our poison. Let's get one of those in play. I'm fine taking 2 more damage here. Alright, cool. And we'll do that. We don't want it to die this turn. We want it to die sometime when it will kill all of its friends. Oh, I forgot it dies on its own there. Okay, we got Burst, Bouncing Flask. I'm into it. So, 24 poison to the big one, and that pretty much solves the fight. As long as we can block, and we just have to draw our Apparitions or our card draw, and we draw 2 cards each turn. I'm gonna do this, even though just skewering would deal more damage, because I want to stack Pin Nuke. Alright, let's get rid of a wound. Let's get rid of a defend. Alright, Corpse Explosion, Apparition, Cloak and Dagger. Maybe we skip the Apparition. Oh, we can't play Catalyst. I messed up. Okay, so this dies next turn and then destroys friends, which is good. So Pin Nib is at 9, so now we just need to survive a couple more turns while that dies to poison and Corpse Explosion. It's a good start. So we got the intangible we needed. A little risky there, but remember we have a ghost on the jar, so we're never in true danger until that's gone. Okay, good fight. Thank you, Stone Calendar. Wow, Stone Calendar is really coming in like your little brother to be like, look, I helped. I like Juzu Bracelets, get us better question marks. Is 3 weak better than an artifact? Phantasmal Killer is really funny with Eviscerate. So hypothetically, this takes our strongest Eviscerate from 90 damage to 180 damage. If we don't play any attacks before that. And we have Pin Nib and all blah blah blah. That's not... I don't think that's good. Especially because when we play this, we don't know for sure that we're going to get exactly Eviscerate or exactly Skewer the next turn. I think our deck is strong enough to try something that isn't good and makes our deck worse because it's funny. Because this is Ascension 5. You know what? Maybe I should have drank that for health. But I'll take this. Alright, question marks. They're not regular fights. It's a shot. Better card choices. More card draw is really good, I think. And a remove is better than more card choices. Bonus HP when you rest? Nah. Bonus max HP is something to think about. Go from 37 to 44, make it a little safer. We could do that in both of these. We're going to go to a shop here, but we've got a lot more fights before now and then. So Strike has to go. Acrobatics has to join. And I think Lee's Waffle is worth the money. I don't think we need another Eviscerate. The rest of these are not interesting to me. Flux Potion does allow us a really big, funny Eviscerate. But I don't think it's worth 50 gold just for a fun joke once. Extra block if we play a bunch of attacks. We don't usually do that, but we'll take it. This is a good fight for a Corpse Explosion. This is a good fight for a Tactician. So let's draw and discard twice. Okay, now we can double Bouncing Flask. And then we can also Phantasmal Killer if we're feeling spicy. So double Bouncing Flask. Okay, so we'll Tools of the Trade, we will Phantasmal Killer, and we will Dodge and Roll. Alright, this is our chance. If we draw Eviscerate, it's going to be beautiful. If we draw it specifically this turn. No luck. That's 72 damage though, that's not nothing, but we're saving it. And then we get our Corpse Explosion. That thing has too much health to die immediately to it. Do you want a better potion? So this thing is dead, we don't need to worry about that. So this thing is at 25 health. Let's just full block. Alright, and now we start getting our apparitions. We can do a big funny Eviscerate. Our next fight is an elite, and we might want to do our big funny Eviscerate on the elite. So I think we try and save it. Besides, it's not our funniest Eviscerate. Our funniest Eviscerate is the one with Phantasmal Killer. And I have high standards. I want to wait for the funniest Eviscerate. Haha, I shall say. I mean, yeah, we could be invincible forever. And then we could draw some cards and get rid of this deck. And we'll just block one here. You know what? Piercing Wail would have been a good way to get rid of an artifact charge, but if we draw a Bouncing Flask, it's already dead. Especially if we draw a Burst Bouncing Flask. Hope everybody's having a nice day. Yeah, we can just intern a couple times. It's the Phantasmal Killer. Let's play it. It's great. Next turn we do more. Someday. We don't have that much weak in our deck. We literally just have Neutralize. We do have a potion. So this does draw a card if we use the potion. But we're not going to keep this potion forever. Bane had a problem in Act 1 where it wasn't great front-loaded damage until we got our poison. It has the same problem now, except we also don't care about great front-loaded damage anymore because we have a game plan. Upgrade all cards, but we can't heal. Heal to full HP and get a curse. No. I mean, upgrading our cards sounds pretty fun. Upgrading all these apparitions... that's huge value. But with all this discarding, our apparitions are basically already upgraded. If we don't like them, we can put them back in the deck. So the upgrade all cards only benefits our Eviscerate and our Skewer, really, for a bigger turn 1. And we have all this healing that gets turned off if we do that. Let's just do the thing that's normally good. We'll kiss Hexaghost a sweet goodnight. Not big enough. So it's going to attack for a bunch next turn, but we've drawn a bunch of cards and only one apparition, so we should be pretty set. Dodge and roll will help. So it's got 12 poison, so if we can get a burst catalyst, we win. Yikes. We could play a Cultist Potion just to burst for extra potions. We could draw 5 cards, randomize card costs. That might be good. We don't like these cards. And it was still bursted. Nice. So, next turn we could do a big skewer. I'm just putting that out there. I would rather save Pin Nib, but like 64 damage 5 times. I really want to do that in the elite fight, but it's so good. Let's see if I draw anything better. Okay, if we calculated Gamble, we get Catalyst to get it to 30 poison. This might actually be a good way to guarantee we win the fight without taking damage. Alright, we get a buffer stack, so the first time we would lose HP each combat, we don't. That's pretty nice. We get a Swift Potion, card draw is very good, and a Backflip is really good at this point. We discard enough cards, because this is draw 3, discard 1. That's not too dissimilar from draw 2 in terms of just the number of cards you get to actually play from it. Okay. So we have 3, 6, 8, so this brings us to 10, then we discard 1. Oh, it is attacking, I didn't really notice that. We'll save the apparitions. We can go Tools of the Trade, Bouncing Flask, Survivor, and Cloak and Dagger? That fully blocks. So we'll get some poison, get some power. It would be nice to dodge and roll, but I'm not too worried. Actually, we don't want a Cloak and Dagger because we don't want to play an attack. Wait, hold on. Dodge and roll fully blocks here. What am I doing? Okay. At some point, it's going to attack for 45 damage, and we're pretty good against that. We probably want to start playing these. Maybe we don't. We still haven't drawn Burst, so our odds of Burst Catalyst are pretty good at this point. If we draw one of them this turn, it's fine. Okay, just Catalyst. 33 poison is good enough, I think. Hold on. Next turn, we probably draw either Eviscerate or Skewer. And double damage is basically 90, right? Because it's the same as Pin Nib, which we currently don't have. Wait, I've been not playing attacks just out of habit, but we actually totally don't have Pin Nib active, so we could be intangible next turn, or we could give it 4 extra poison and triple that. I think that's the right thing to do. Morally speaking. Alright, Piercing Wail kicks some butt. Then we don't need that. Piercing Wail, Defend, Tools of the Trade. We like those next turn. We get all of them and get rid of 2. So if it's attacking for a big amount, we can play the intangible, and if it's not, we can discard the intangible. Maybe Cultist Potion isn't the best potion for us. Actually. Maybe Swift Potion is better for us than Cultist Potion. But I have a dream. Let's draw some cards. It's a good potion. Okay, so we want to play 7 more attacks. It's going to die to poison, so we just play every attack we can. So we Cloak and Dagger twice to get a couple of shivs. We dodge and roll twice to get extra block next turn. And we Eviscerate. So now we need to play 3 more attacks. I like energy, and I don't like bad status effects. Okay, so we just need to play 2 more attacks. Next turn it doesn't die. It hasn't done the big 45 damage attack yet. Here it is. I was worried. So we have 2 attacks, which is enough. We don't need Skewer. Cool. Okay, Apparition, Neutralize, Poison Stab, and Survivor, and we are all set. It is dead. We gotta discard some stuff, though. Thank you, Stone Calendar. Oh my goodness. Bag of Marble's actually very good if we're trying to do big magic turn 1. So this increases it from 90 damage to 145 damage. We're fighting Awakened one. Distraction. All of these are Well, if nothing else, Stone Calendar can win this fight eventually. So we have 9 cards. Let's get this potion out of the way. I think we can use Pin Nib and stack it again. So we'll Apparition twice. We'll Alchemize twice, because why not? Let's get Tools of the Trade and get a little poison on one of these. Start stacking Pin Nib again by playing a Skewer for 0. Alright, we have 5 energy and 5 energy worth of cards. Let's make sure this one dies. Do we want this to die next turn? Maybe we want it to die slower. This might be a long fight if we're trying to stack our Pin Nib. We could make it a shorter fight, but we want to play 7 attacks. Because our next fight is against the boss. Corpse Explosion is good, but it might end the fight before we're ready. Alright. If we put it on this one, it's not going to die for a while. And then whenever we're ready to end the fight, we just kill that one. I'm into that. So when this dies, everything takes 54 damage. Phantasmal Killer is a funny card. Alright, we don't need the defense because we have an apparition, so let's draw some cards. These are attacks. We're not actually going to use Phantasmal Killer this turn, I'm sorry. We do want to avoid taking damage. Okay, we need to play 5 more attacks. This is 1, 2, 3. It's probably good to have both apparitions still. This is going to die next turn. Alright, so we're fully blocked. We get to keep our buffer stack. So now we can play, if we want to play 3 more attacks and then finish that. Stone Calendar is also coming in hot. Alright, get rid of those. Do I think we can do 3 more attacks this turn? Yeah, I do. Cool. And that's the fight. Now they're all dead. Draw 3 cards is better than Cultist Potion, but I have a dream. Reflex. I like Reflex here. Once we have 2 tools of the trade in play, this is just good. Okay. Shopping time. Random Potion. Crippling Cloud is okay. Card remove is quite good. Backflip is pretty good. Removing a strike is primo stuff. I don't think Infinite Blades is that valuable. It's something to discard, but we don't want to draw it again. With an Ornamental Fan, it usually almost pays for itself against the heart, and it gets that pin nib stacking. It's okay. I just don't think it's better than drawing something else. With that in mind, Backflip helps us draw something else. Crippling Cloud applies weak and poison, but it's not going to get upgraded, and even bursting it is only 8 poison. I don't think that's that valuable. We don't do anything here, we just proceed. Alright, Awakened One. Alright. I like a new potion. I also just like discarding everything and trying again. Then what if we draw too many apparitions, though? Let's save them. But what else do we do? Power Potion is decent. I don't know if this is the fight where we want it. Let's see what we get. Alright, Corpse Explosion, that's good. Unfortunately, we're going to have to waste an apparition to do that. We could also do 48 twice, which is nice. I think I value getting a Corpse Explosion. That'll take both of these out. And I definitely don't want to spend my first attack doing 0 damage with Skewer. Alright. Burst Bouncing Flask is good. Let's discard the thing that's bad. Burst Backflip draws a bunch of cards. So we could Eviscerate for 90. It's pretty good. I think we burst Apparition instead of burst Bouncing Flask, because who knows where that's going to land. I think it's worth giving it extra strength to get that extra draw. Let's just do 90 damage. We could do it to this one and take them out, but I'd like to do it to the big one. I think we can deal with this one later. Alright, we got a Phantasmal Killer, but we're not going to be able to use it with Pin Nib. We got no idea what we're going to draw next turn. Alright. I think we just play both of these. Ooh, I like another Corpse Explosion for sure. Sorry, Footwork. Should have drawn more cards before I did that. Alright. We are going to lose our buffer stack and take a couple damage. That buffer stack is pretty valuable. Is an extra 50 damage to everything more valuable than getting block and keeping a buffer stack? We don't have that many Apparition left. We are going to have to kill that thing somehow. Because the second phase, we really need to get like a Burst Catalyst going. But this will help us get through the first phase pretty well. So, alright. So we lose our buffer stack. And we take a few damage. We get rid of Reflex and Tactician, and we draw a new card and get more energy. That's why we have those cards. Okay, we could burst Bouncing Flask this turn. But we're not gonna. If we use Catalyst, we don't have it later. And that's no good. If we play a Shiv, this thing dies on its own over the next couple turns. We make that weak. We do some blocking. Okay. You know what? We should have just done it to the main one since we're intangible. We could Phantasmal Killer into Eviscerate next turn, but that's not that good if we don't have Akabeko. It steals 40 damage. That's not very much. Okay, I'd like to draw Eviscerate here. Well, that'll do it. Okay, so I kill this. Those both die. Now I am free to burst Bouncing Flask here. So we can hopefully get through that first phase a little better. We are no longer intangible, so we're going to have to actually start dealing with the consequences of our choices. No, Phantasmal Killer, you're not a good card, and I don't want you. This does 21 damage. Weak is good. I think we're just trying to block while the poison kills it. I don't think this is worth a spot in our hand with all the cards we have to discard. That's nice. That's nice. Well, it could have kept a spot in our hand after all. It would have been free, but we didn't know we'd get such good draws. Yikes, we didn't even get our Footwork in play. So this is 40. We're not going to do 40. We can do more poison. But if we do this, we don't get to block. I'm fine with taking 2 to get this in play, even if I'd like the block next turn, because I think we kill it next turn. This does give it strength, which is unfortunate. Okay, burst Bouncing Flask. I really would have liked to get that next turn, but Bebbers can't be tubers. So it's dead. We can... How do we like this deck? For next turn. It's going to do some big attacks. I think a backflip, a cloak and dagger, these are decent things. Oh, it's not actually dead. Let's just make it dead. Awesome, we drew a strike. So now next turn we've got much better stuff going on. Oh. Substone calendar. Every time when we've already defeated the enemy, it's like, hey, what's up? So we don't need corpse explosion, we don't need prepared. Well, that's backflip. We could do these three and then calculated gamble for more stuff. What do we have in our deck that's really nice here? We don't have a ton of great defense, honestly. We have to block or we die. Let's block as much as we can. Even if we want to deal a bunch of damage, I think we just need to... Yikes. That was sad. You know what, we should use this. Ooh, Wraith form. Do we want that now? Do we need dexterity to survive? Do we need poison to live? We just wasted our bouncing flask. Maybe I should have used the cultist potion in this fight. We wouldn't apply poison with this that often. This would help us survive. But how long? I think we need a Wraith form. But I don't think we play it now. I think we keep it in our deck. So we go down to 26. Okay. Give me cards. Catalyst is pretty bad with no poison. We're not getting any poison. We could burst Catalyst on nothing. We could burst dodge and roll. I think that's a good idea. Then we'll do this because why not? Strike for slight damage. I think we can kill this with poison, but wow, are we not getting our poison in the right order. It is going to put all these voids in our deck, which do suck. But we're okay for now. We're not really doing any more damage than it's healing. What's in our discard? No poison. We just need to get Burst, Bouncing Flask, Catalyst, but actually having that in our hand is not super likely without good luck or careful draw manipulation. Okay. This could be it. Can draw a bunch of cards. We have a Wraith form. Okay, that's one. How many more cards? We need Burst and Bouncing Flask. To guarantee we get them, we want to draw a bunch of these, really. So Eviscerate is irrelevant. So we need 4 energy to do it. Okay, that's another one. We totally take 23 damage to play that, if that's what it takes. We're going to discard Wraith form. We're not playing it this turn. Okay. Please? Not quite. We could still get it and burst Bouncing Flask. Let's make it weak, by the way. So we're being attacked for 10 coming in. So this does 12 and 36 poison. If we burst Bouncing Flask, it does that, but burst is good next turn. Alright. It was close, but it was not quite the dream. So we need to keep living. We'll get rid of the reflex, and I guess we get rid of the void. It goes back into our deck, which sucks, but... Wait, what? Oh no. We lost energy because we draw it. So it's still bad. So we could burst 2 defends, and that gains 28 block, and that fully blocks us. We could burst a Corpse Explosion to add 12 poison, and then defend to go up to 13 block, and then Calculated Gamble and really hope we get block cards. That seems rough. I think the wisest thing is to full block and hope we get cards we like here. I think we just apply 12 more poison and wait. This is actually a tough fight. I'm excited. So much of this round has been kind of easy, so this would deal not enough damage. And that would draw a card, but deal not enough damage. Okay, so we can block for 10, 18, 25. Plus 7 is 32. We're being attacked for 45, so we'd take 13. So we don't need to Ghost in the Jar yet. Do we want to take 1 extra to dodge and roll? Maybe. We always want a Cloak and Dagger. Blocking 6 next turn is worth taking 1 more this turn, because it is going to attack next turn. So we'll take 14 damage, we'll go down to 12. We get a Wraith form available. Phantasmal Killer and Eviscerate. We want a Catalyst this turn. Alright, if we can Catalyst and Wraith form, it goes to 60 poison. So with its Regenerate, it's taking like 50 damage every turn. So then it takes 50 this turn, 50 next turn, 50 the turn after that, before we get hit. So then we just have to deal 80 damage. But we can also fully block this turn. Do we try and save the Wraith form? No, I think we try and kill it. Okay. Void, we're not going through our deck again. Defend. I don't know if you're relevant anymore. This will deal the damage we need to deal, so we can get rid of Corpse Explosion. Acrobatics discounts that. This gets us energy. So that's free. Okay, so let's defend. And if we deal 40 damage, it's at 110, and then... Does that kill it? No, we deal 32. Okay, so it's at 122. This turn it takes 52 damage and goes down to... Well, it takes 62 and heals 10, so it takes 52 damage down to... from 122 to 70. And then it has 61 poison, so we're not going to kill it without doing our Pin Nib again. We need to use Pin Nib, so let's use Pin Nib. Pin Nib, I don't know, Pin Nib is so good against the Act 4 elites. Maybe I should have tried to make it work otherwise, but we'll do what we can. Pin Nib Akabeko would have been an incredible way to kill one of the elites immediately. But it just wasn't meant to be, I don't think. Unless we can play 9 attacks this turn. Don't think that's very possible. Alright, we did what we could. And we won the fight, so I'm pretty happy with that. It might have been worth using the Cultist Potion so that we could kill it at our leisure and get that going. But we got through a fight. And we're on to Act 4. Alright, we can no, we can't heal. It doesn't matter. Shopping time. Get a potion. We could get another catalyst. That might be better. Kunai would be cool. I want another potion, but we have exactly enough money for a catalyst, and a catalyst is pretty good for us. Okay. So Bouncing Flask Catalyst is a strong start. That applies at least 6 poison to one of them. Then we could make that 10 poison, then we could make that 30 poison. And then we could become intangible. I think that's a pretty strong start, and we've got good odds of getting 9 on one of them. Yeah, I'm very into that. So that one's pretty much dealt with. Okay, so that wins the fight. Can we play 5 more attacks? Probably. I think we always do this. That doesn't actually quite kill that, it just gets us started on doing it. I think drawing more apparitions is worth more than having extra dexterity. Besides, we're fully blocked. Burst Piercing Wail fully blocks without using her apparition. Still a little damage here. Not too much, but a little. So now we want to play 3 more attacks and kill it. Which I think is doable. These are good cards to discard. If you have 2 copies of Tools of the Trade, cards like this, which are normally useless, are pretty decent. So we totally kill it. So we need to play 1 more attack first. Alright, this is good. But we also want to play Alchemize for another potion. Because this heart fight is no joke. We can kill this with poison pretty easily. I don't think we're in danger if we wait a little longer in this fight. I think we are in danger if we go into the heart fight without all the advantages we can muster. Alright, still just looking for Alchemize, staying intangible, saving 1 last attack to play as a way to kill it. We get rid of these burns, I'm into that. Okay, if we Bouncing Flask, it dies next turn. Do we want that? We don't have a ton of intangible in our deck. I think we want that. Okay, we get our Alchemize. Duplication Potion, that's good. And we get our Pen Nib up to the right number. Okay, Oddly Smooth Stone, extra dex. Liquid Memories. Could be pretty good. Do we want another Acrobatics? Card draw is good. We have 2 Acrobatics already. We're almost always having more energy than cards. I think this is still good, even if our deck is mostly Acrobatics. Okay, so Duplication Potion we like. It's good on... We can still do a silly early Phantasmal Killer Skewer for a bunch of damage, especially if we gain Ritual. That's why I kept the Ritual Potion, by the way. I thought it'd be fun with Phantasmal Killer late in the fight. Ghost and Jar we have to keep. I think we take Liquid Memories. because we have the ability to discard apparitions pretty regularly, so as long as we've discarded an apparition, we can get it when we need it. Okay, Burst Bouncing Flask. That's a good start. So we'll gain our ritual. Alright, so we could deal 200 damage. It's pretty good, but Burst Bouncing Flask I think is even more important. Okay, so we'll be intangible for next turn. We'll apply 24 poison. And we'll get a new potion, Duplication Potion. Okay. This is a good start to the heart fight. I think we're in pretty decent shape here. Wow, our status bar has a lot of things on it. Defend Apparition is good. We could also, you know what? If we discard the Apparition, we have it whenever we need it for Liquid Memories. I think that's more important. So we will discard Defend, play Tools of the Trade, and man, when this heart dies, everything around it is going to go down. This time we will exhaust the Void. We're going to try not to make that mistake again. We want it gone. Get rid of Tactician and Wound. So this deals 75. We can do better. Okay, nothing we care about. We had a bunch of energy, so it was worth trying to draw something. So yeah, ending our turn with 4 energy there makes me think Acrobatics is a decent card to take. We lose our buffer stack if we play a card this turn. But Catalyst is really good, especially if we get our other Catalyst. I think it's worth it. Get rid of that. Wish we had the dodge and roll first. So we do this, it goes to almost 100. Okay, it goes to 81, fine. Then next turn we could make that to 160. You know what? This seems like the perfect duplication potion. So now we just have to survive. Also, I want Phantasmal Killer. I got Phantasmal Killer. Catalyst is meaningless at this point. Okay, so we'll take a little damage, that's fine. There was no reason to play that. We have 6 strength. We haven't played any attacks. Okay, so it's dead this turn. So it's time to dream. Come on. Too slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not exciting. And it's gonna die before Stone Calendar gets to play. I put too much poison, so my dream here would be Phantasmal Killer. Then next turn I have Akabeko and 7 strength, so that's plus 15 damage. Doubled with Pin Nib, doubled with Phantasmal Killer, so then ideally I could get a skewer for 22 times 5 energy times 4. So that would be 444 damage. That's why I kept the Ritual Potion, and didn't use it, and almost died against the Awakened one, because I thought it would be really funny if I could do that. Now you know my dark secret. I'm so sad. So sad inside that I didn't do it. Don't take Phantasmal Killer. We played a Ritual Potion during a fight where we played 0 attacks. It was beautiful. That was a lot of fun. You know, once we get 5 apparitions and all this other stuff, I want to start spicing up the run a bit. I think I might want to start moving up to doing the achievements and playing at Ascension 20 instead of Ascension 5, but that was fun. Alright, that's a problem for another day. Bye!